In the animal kingdom, one rule has never been broken. Predators do not share. They compete, they steal, they kill each other over food. From lions on the savannah to great white sharks in the open ocean, every predator follows one simple principle: find prey, kill it, eat it alone. That rule has stood for 500 million years of evolution. Until now. In a remote chain of islands in Indonesia, on reefs so isolated that few humans have ever seen them, something impossible is happening. Snakes and fish hunting together. Not by accident, not by coincidence, deliberately, strategically, as a coordinated alliance, each species doing exactly what the other cannot, working in perfect tactical sync. Scientists who witnessed it refused to believe it until they saw it happen again and again. 30 sea snakes moving in formation through the coral, predatory fish flanking them on every side. Together they form a hunting caravan, a moving wall of death with nowhere to hide. But here's what makes this truly terrifying. This alliance exists in only one place on Earth, on reefs so pristine that the rest of the ocean has forgotten what they once looked like. And those reefs are vanishing fast. Today, only a tiny fraction of Indonesia's reefs remain healthy enough for this behavior to occur. What you're about to see is not just one of the most extraordinary hunting strategies ever recorded. It may be one of the last times it is ever seen. Stay with me. Nothing about what happens next follows the rules nature was supposed to obey.
But what kind of world allows two deadly enemies to become hunting partners? The coral reefs of the Banda Sea are among the most biodiverse places on the planet, rivaling the Amazon in the sheer number of species packed into every square meter. But don't let the beauty fool you. This is a battlefield. Every crack is a hiding spot or a killing ground. Everything here is either eating or being eaten. Large predatory fish patrol the upper water column. Mid-level hunters weave through the coral. In the dark crevices below, prey huddle, praying the shadows will save them until nightfall. This violent world is where the Alliance was born, a place where cooperation should be impossible. And yet, the rules broke. Imagine a predator whose venom leaves its victims fully awake while they're eaten alive, yet it can't even chase its own food. The banded sea krait is no ordinary sea snake. It hunts in the ocean but lays its eggs on land, a creature of two worlds. Its black and white banded pattern is a universal warning. Its neurotoxic venom doesn't kill instantly. It paralyzes. The victim stays fully conscious while being swallowed alive. But the krait has one fatal weakness. It is slow in open water. It excels at probing tight crevices with endless patience, but it cannot chase or herd, unless something else does the chasing for it.
One is lightning fast, but helpless in tight spaces. The other is a patient creeper that can't run down prey. What happens when they stop competing? The giant trevally is built for speed, bursts over 40 miles per hour, striking like a blur. But it cannot follow prey into narrow coral cracks. Once the fish dives deep inside, the chase ends. Yellow goatfish use sensitive barbels under their chin to probe the sand and drive hidden prey upward into open water. 3 different predators, 3 different strengths, 3 different weaknesses, until evolution found a way to erase all the weaknesses at once. What if the moment 2 natural enemies meet, they don't fight, they team up? It starts simply. A group of trevally patrols the reef face, scattering small fish into the crevices. They circle helplessly at the entrances. Then, the snakes arrive. A single banded sea krait detects the chaos, the panicked prey, the sudden concentration of movement. It changes course. The trevally do not attack the snake. The snake does not strike the trevally. They simply begin moving together. More snakes join. More fish join. Soon, a living caravan forms.
trevally on the flanks providing speed and open water control, snakes threading deep into the reef for precision strikes. At its peak, dozens of trevally, goatfish, and up to 30 sea snakes working in silent, instinctive coordination. Nothing on this reef was built to survive this.
Watch what happens when every escape route is suddenly cut off. A small goby or damselfish sees the column approaching. Its instinct screams, dive into the reef, hide in the crack. It has always worked before. Not this time. Trevally block the exit to open water. The crevice narrows ahead. Then, with calm precision, a banded sea krait threads inside. One bite, neurotoxin floods in. The fish stops moving, paralyzed, aware, helpless. The caravan does not pause. Snakes clear the interior. Trevally and goatfish control the exterior and snatch any escapees. The local food chain doesn't just shift, it collapses. There is nowhere to hide. Scientists saw the footage and thought it had to be a mistake. Here's why this alliance breaks every rule in biology. When marine biologists first documented this behavior in the Banda Sea, many were skeptical. Interspecies cooperative hunting, especially between a reptile and fish, is extremely rare in the ocean. This isn't simple opportunism. The trevally adjust their patrols based on where the snakes are hunting. The snakes redirect toward areas where the fish are driving prey. It requires real-time monitoring and behavioral flexibility that challenges what we thought fish and snakes were capable of. And it works with devastating efficiency. This incredible behavior only happens in one tiny percentage of reefs, and that percentage is shrinking fast. This alliance has only been observed on the most remote, healthy reefs in the Banda Sea. It needs dense prey populations, diverse predators, and complex coral structures. Damage any of these through bleaching, overfishing, pollution, or coastal development, and the alliance simply does not form. Healthy reefs like these now make up only a tiny percentage of Indonesia's total coral reefs. The rest have been heavily degraded. The conditions that allowed two ancient lineages to discover they are stronger together are disappearing. We're not just losing coral, we're losing something far harder to replace, ancient knowledge that took millions of years to evolve. We're not just losing colorful reefs or numbers of fish, we're erasing behaviors that took millions of years to evolve. This alliance didn't appear overnight. It developed across thousands of generations as both species slowly learned that cooperation could beat competition in this specific environment. When a reef dies, that hard-earned knowledge dies with it. You can regrow coral over time. You can let fish populations recover. But you cannot rebuild a complex behavior once it is erased. If we lose these last pristine sites before scientists fully understand how this works, that chapter of evolutionary history may be gone forever. This isn't the only impossible team-up in the ocean, but all of them are vanishing for the same reason. This is the most dramatic example in the ocean, but it is not the only one. In the Pacific, moray eels and grouper fish hunt together, each covering the other's weaknesses. Cleaner wrasse fish maintain stations where large predators queue peacefully to be cleaned, suppressing their instinct to eat the wrasse. All these alliances share one truth: they only exist in healthy, complex ecosystems. And those ecosystems are shrinking faster than at any other time in Earth's history. If these last reefs disappear, can this alliance ever come back? The answer might surprise you. If the last pristine reefs vanish, what happens to the alliance? Scientists still don't fully know. Behavior is the most fragile part of any ecosystem, more fragile than individual species or coral itself. We can restore reefs given enough time, but once a sophisticated behavior like this disappears, it may never return.
You might think this is happening on the other side of the planet and has nothing to do with you, but it does, and here's why. This matters to every one of us, even if we've never seen these reefs. The Sea Krait and Trevally Alliance is living proof that nature can create solutions we never imagined, given enough time and stability. We don't know what other extraordinary behaviors are still hidden on the remaining healthy reefs, or how many we've already erased without ever knowing they existed. The discovery itself was a near miss. The right place, the right time, the right camera. How many others have already slipped away in silence?
Right now, on one of the last remote reefs in the Banda Sea, the Alliance is forming again. Trevally patrol the reef face. A banded sea krait threads through the coral. They sense each other and make the same ancient calculation their ancestors made for thousands of years. Together, we are stronger. The caravan moves, snakes in formation, fish flanking on every side, prey scrambling with nowhere to hide. This is the ocean as it once was, complex, cooperative, and ruthless, before we changed it. The 500-million-year rule has been broken, but we are breaking a different one, the assumption that the natural world will always be there when we finally decide to look. It won't. The caravan is still hunting on borrowed time. The reef is shrinking, and one of evolution's most unlikely masterpieces may be running out of chances. Tell me in the comments, did you know snakes and fish could hunt like this together? And does knowing it could disappear in our lifetime change how you see the oceans? If this blew your mind, hit like, subscribe to Unseen Species, and turn on notifications. We're uncovering the planet's most hidden stories before they're gone forever. What other impossible behaviors in nature should we explore next?